On today's episode of Cooking with the T-Rex Chef, mashed potatoes and gravy. We're keeping it simple. It's not so much the recipe, it's the technique. Stay tuned.
Don't ask me why I am this way. I should have stayed in bed today and
And I'm rolling.
Hi everyone, my name is Andy. I'm the T-Rex Chef and welcome to my kitchen. Holiday theme this week. So we're going to be making mashed potatoes and gravy, and it's not so much the recipe, it is the technique of it. In other words, the potatoes that are going into the mashed are not going to be boiled. Yes, I know. Hold on. Crazy thought. I know. We're going to be getting a nice golden brown color on these. I'm using Yukon Gold potatoes because Yukon Golds are amazing. So those are going to go into our mashed potatoes. We're making gravy, but the twist on this is we're going to actually toast the flour to a nice golden brown before we actually make the gravy. And before all of that, behind me, I have my turkey broth going. Don't use chicken broth because you're making gravy for your turkey. I have my half and half and butter ready for my potatoes. And before we get going on anything else, I'm going to drop some sage into my broth. That's the only other ingredient in that other than salt and pepper. It's a very simple gravy.
What do you do to the sage?
I'm going to bruise it.
Oh.
What you doing here, man? Huh? What you doing here? Huh? What you doing here? Bruise it. What you doing here? Get out of here.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, after you, Barry.
Barry!
Sorry. So now that we have all those ready to go behind us, waiting for us, the oven is heated, the broth with the sage in it is working, and our half and half with the butter is working. We're going to start with our Yukon Gold potatoes. Again, I'm using Yukon Gold because those are amazing.
Yummy!
So right now we're going to peel our potatoes. No, we are not going to peel the potatoes. I don't peel my potatoes. I'm not sure why everyone feels that you need to do that. It adds so much more flavor when you leave the skin on. I have rinsed these. They are fine. Don't worry about it. You don't need to peel them. So just put this back. I'm sorry. You okay? You don't need to flick me off. Whatever. All right. So let's get these into manageable sized cuts here. Hi, Homer. You want to remember to make your cuts relatively the same size so they cook relatively evenly. Okay, now let's get these into a bowl. I've used too small of a bowl. See, we're not leaving out any of our mistakes, okay? There's some things you're not gonna see, but if you do something like this and you want to toss it with oil, which is the next step, you have to get a bigger vessel. Don't be so stubborn. Don't be so me. So we're just gonna put these into a bigger bowl. Easily fixable. Just enough to coat it. Because again, these are going into the oven and we're gonna cook them till they're golden brown. It's going to give you a much richer flavor. Okay, you may not have a lot of room or time to do these. Mashed potatoes can be done ahead of time, okay? And they can be reheated. It's actually okay to do that. If you're worried about oven space, now if you're Italian, you probably have 2 ovens. And there's a select few of you out there who are probably laughing right now because you actually have second oven, second fridge. Anyway, getting back to that, these can be done the day before. They can be reheated slowly in the oven. So we're gonna take these that have a little bit of oil on it. I'm just gonna do just a little bit more here. Let's get them onto a sheet pan. We're gonna get these into the oven.
That's not the oven.
I thought we were doing the cool.
No.
We're not doing. Okay.
No.
Okay, our budget got cut a little bit. Into the oven. 450 until they're golden. Until they're golden girls. 450 in your oven until they're golden brown and fork tender. It took me like 8 times to try and say that. So now that we have that in the oven, we're gonna work on our gravy. As I said, back here we have our turkey broth with the sage in it. That's all you need for this. Wait, ready?
I'm gonna zoom in on the potatoes.
Oh, okay. So now we're on to the gravy, and what makes my gravy a little bit different is the technique that I'm using. I'm going to toast the flour before actually putting the butter in with it. So what you can do with, they do this a lot in Creole cooking, in Southern cooking. By toasting the flour, you're gonna get a much deeper, richer flavor. And the cool part is when this is almost ready or starting to toast well, you're gonna start smelling popcorn. Popcorn or popped corn? I don't know. Popcorn.
Yeah.
Popcorn. How you doing, Bear? Good?
Good.
You good? Okay, good to see you. That's Barry. Barry does all the hard work. Hey, bud. Let's get the flour into a pan that's over medium heat. Now, you can back up. You can't leave this, okay? Because if you burn this, it's over. There's a certain point, there's a tipping point, okay? So you gotta watch this. Get that in there. That's about a 1/4 cup right there. And I'm guessing this is gonna take around 5 to 7 minutes. So we're gonna come back when this is nice and golden brown and where we like it. Okay, this actually took only 3 minutes, and we're like almost there. We're about 60 seconds away. So take a look at this, Barry. Get a shot of this. See that right there?
Oh yeah.
Okay. We're at the 4 minute mark now. I'm gonna go almost 6, and then we're gonna add our butter. Now, when we add the butter, I'm gonna have to go from a famous TV chef. You want this to look like wet sand, and it's actually a really good point. I'm gonna add our butter, my butter. You had nothing to do with it. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit more because again, we want wet sand results. About a 1/2 stick of butter. Yeah, I know. You're doing this once a year. Okay, so getting that down, and that's going to be looking like wet sand. And the toastiness from this is going to be absolutely amazing. Oh, that's looking absolutely amazing right there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be doing is adding our broth. Make sure your broth is nice and hot when this is going in, okay? And guess what? If you get lumps, who cares? Who cares if you get lumps?
There's a lump. Oh boy.
Slowly add it. And now it's coming up to what gravy should look like. Okay? Add a little bit more of this broth. Don't throw your broth out if you didn't use all of it, because if you need to thin this out, you can have that ready and waiting for you. We're gonna add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper to this. That's it. That's all. That's it. I just added a little bit of sage. Sage is gonna pair up a little bit well with your stuffing because that's kind of a traditional ingredient for stuffing. About 1/2 teaspoon for right now of salt. Same with pepper. Actually gonna add about 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper because pepper is a little bit more powerful than the salt. Okay, see that? It's getting a little bit too tight because this is gonna continue to thicken while we're waiting for our potatoes to be ready. So what we wanna do, I'm gonna add a little bit more of this. Little by little. Slowly I turn. And now we come up with a technical term here that's called nappe, which means to coat. See how that coats? Back of the spoon. Just like that. Nice and toasty. Tasting like gravy should. We're gonna add a little bit more salt. Remember, you can always add more. You can't take away. I'm gonna add a little bit more pepper. Got that sage background flavor to it. If you wanted a gravy with very few ingredients that tastes a little bit like sage. It stands out a little bit, but the toastiness of it is really what's going to stand out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Get a little bit of the butter that's in there. You definitely get the flour that's toasted in there. The turkey is what you're going for. Again, this is getting a little too thick, so we're gonna thin it out a little bit. Adding more of the turkey broth. So we got that pretty much where we want it. Check on my taters. All right, I left a few on the pan for some snacks for later, but oh, look at how dark that is. Oh my gosh. Oh. That's flavor. That is flavor right there, okay?
Flavor.
You want that right there. So now we have our half and half and our butter. That's gonna go into the taters, but before I put that in there, I'm gonna get the mashing started. So add a little bit at a time. Remember, hot liquids, go slow. And I like my potatoes a little bit on the drier side because that's what the gravy's for.
No.
I don't like them soupy. But I am gonna add a little bit more, just a little bit. All right, now we're gonna do some seasoning, some salt, pepper, and give this a taste test here. Just a little bit. Parsley, I love parsley. Some of it's gonna go in here, some of it's gonna go right in there. Yes, these are darker than your average mashed potatoes because you're roasting them and you're going to use Yukon Gold potatoes. Still managed to spell. There you go, folks. Roasted mashed potatoes, not boiled mashed potatoes. So there you have it. Roasted mashed potatoes with a roasted gravy in a sense. If you like what you've seen, please hit the like button. Help us out. Hit that subscribe button so we can keep getting some great and amazing videos to you. With me as always, behind the camera doing all the hard work is Mr. Barry. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Cooking with the T-Rex Chef. We wish you a happy Thanksgiving and a happy holiday coming up. Now, we just taste. Have a good day, everyone. There you go, Mr. Barry. Sexy shots here of... Oh yeah, definitely taste that toastiness to the gravy. It makes such a difference. The potatoes, again, Yukon Gold. You gotta go Yukon Gold. Leaving the skin on is another texture level to it, so it adds another element to your cooking. By roasting your potatoes, you free up a lot of space on your range, and you get a deep flavor to the potatoes. It's gonna be unlike anything you've ever tasted if you've never done it this way before. So let's dig in.
Wow.
Big difference, huh?
That's good stuff.
Yep, big difference.
Oh yeah.
Man, it's been a while since I've had roasted mash.
All right. Say goodnight, Dick.
Good night, Dick.
And then my name.
Only in Jamestown. Bye, Clayton.